2024 Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting to order at 5:31 PM. Ms. Tiffany Harrison, please call roll.
Good evening and welcome to the November 4th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Open Session Meeting. Commissioners, please state present if in attendance. Commissioner Morales.
Present.
Commissioner Walker.
Present.
Commissioner Jarosik.
Present.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Present.
Commissioner Carney. For the record, Commissioner Carney is not in attendance. Commissioner Prager.
Present.
Vice Chair Smith.
Present.
Chair Krause.
Present.
For the record, a quorum is present with 7 commissioners in attendance. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Rhodes will give the invocation and Commissioner Smith will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Please pray with me. Lord, I thank you for this opportunity again to come and serve our community and our city. I pray that you will guide us in our decisions tonight as we hear presentations. Lord, as the election comes tomorrow, I know there's a lot of anxiety toward that. I pray that you will just, your will be done and you will guide us in all we do and say and throughout the rest of the week. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now be seated. We will now confirm the meeting agenda items. Are there questions or comments? If there are no objections, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion that we approve.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Morales and a second by Commissioner Prager to approve the meeting agenda items. Tiffany, can we have a vote?
Commissioner Morales.
Aye.
Commissioner Walker.
Aye.
Commissioner Jarosik.
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Aye.
Commissioner Prager.
Aye.
Vice Chair Smith.
Aye.
And Chair Krause.
Aye.
The vote is unanimous and the motion carries.
Meeting agenda items are approved by unanimous consent. We'll now have public comments. Are there any public comments at this time? If so,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. If so, please limit comments to 3 minutes. We will have a timer on the screen for your reference. Please state your name and city of residence for the record.
Now I'll say, seeing none online.
We'll go ahead and move on to consent items. On the consent agenda is the approval of item 4, FY-22-96-PLT, and item 5, meeting minutes. If there are no objections, I will entertain a motion. Thank you. Motion has been made by Commissioner Morales and a second by Commissioner Smith to approve items 4 and 5 on the consent agenda. Tiffany, may we have a vote?
Commissioner Morales. Commissioner Walker.
Aye.
Commissioner Jarosik.
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Aye.
Commissioner Prager. Vice Chair Smith.
Aye.
Chair Krause.
Aye.
The vote is unanimous and the motion carries.
Items 4 and 5 are approved by unanimous consent. We'll proceed to our regular agenda. Item 6, FY-24-48-PLT. Consider and recommend action on the final plat of South Point Phase 5, a 13.745 plus or minus acre, 49 lot, 2 block, 4 track mixed use development with a developer requested exception to the city thoroughfare plan. It's located in the Maximo Moreno Survey, abstract number 14, City of Temple, Bell County, Texas, generally located west of the intersection of Case Road and SEHK Dodge and Loop, identified by Appraisal District ID 40068.
All right, thank you, Chair Krause. This plat before you includes an exception, so city council approval is required, and we have that scheduled for November the 21st. So this shows the general location of the property along Case Road near the near its intersection with Loop 363. And then this is kind of an aerial view blown up, showing the location of this phase, which is phase 5. This property is currently undeveloped, and to the west, you have different phases of the South Point development. Phase 2 is pretty much established, and phase 4 is currently under development. So this is phase 5. It's the final phase of the South Point development. This one proposes 48 residential lots and 1 retail lot, lot 37. Here at the bottom is the retail lot. And as Brian mentioned at the previous meeting, we had 2 rezoning cases, which are shown here. One of those was to go from single family use to general retail, or single family zoning to general retail, to basically align with lot 37, the boundary of that lot. And then the other was to go from retail zoning to single family 3, again, to follow the alignment of lots 28 and 29 so that the use in the zoning districts coincide. Do want to point out that the rezoning, approval of the rezoning is in the process right now. It's set to go to the city council for November the 7th and 21st. The plat is not contingent upon the rezoning, so the plat can go ahead and move forward at the same time and can be approved prior to the zoning change. In this phase, the lot sizes range from 5,280 square feet to 19,935, which exceeds the minimum required in SF3, which is 4,000 square feet. And with regard to the comprehensive plan, the future land use is residential and neighborhood service shown here. So the proposed use is consistent with the future land use. So this is the preliminary plat. This was approved in 2017. Just want to point out there's a few deviations. Originally, with the preliminary plat, there were 331 lots proposed. With the completion of phase 5, there will actually be 370 lots, so a few more. Also, the extension of Loomis Drive shown here was proposed to connect to Case Road. With the phase 5, this connection is basically eliminated. Do want to point out that for this size of development, which is over 301 lots, 3 alternate design entrances are required. So even with the elimination of this 4th entrance, you still have 3 entrances. So that requirement is still satisfied. This is the thoroughfare plan. So again, this is showing that Loomis Drive was proposed as a future neighborhood collector street to connect to Case Road, which was also shown as a neighborhood collector street. So with the elimination of this connection, basically that's the exception that is requested, but this also triggers thoroughfare plan amendments that will be handled in the future. These amendments are listed here. It includes, again, the elimination of this connection. It includes downgrading this portion of Loomis Drive and this portion of Case Road, both of these on the east side of Alton Road, to local streets, and upgrading this portion of Alton Road to a neighborhood collector. So basically you'll have this pattern, shown here, and then the portion on the east side will just be local streets. Again, this is an exception request that requires city council approval, and staff is supportive of the request and the future thoroughfare plan amendments. With regard to access, this phase has frontage on Case Road and also a small portion along Loop 363. Currently, there's approximately 42 feet of right-of-way for Case Road. So the applicant is dedicating Tract A, which is shown here. It's about 20 feet wide. Is being dedicated to the city for wider right-of-way, utility, and drainage uses. There's other tracts as well, Tract B and C shown in blue. Those are drainage easements. And Tract D is a sidewalk easement and public utility easement. This will provide pedestrian access to the retail lot, lot 37. Tracts A, B, and C will be owned and maintained by the city, and Tract D will be owned and maintained by the HOA. The internal roads in this phase will be local streets. Access from Case Road will be prohibited for the residential lots. There will be access allowed for lot 37. That's actually the only point of access for lot 37. And TxDOT has requested a 1-foot non-access easement along the loop frontage. With regard to drainage, there's no requirement with this phase. The detention pond was established with the previous phase, phase 4, and will include the flows from this phase. With regard to the Trails Master Plan and the sidewalk ordinance, there's no requirement for sidewalks along local streets. But the applicant will be continuing a sidewalk that was established with previous phases along Lemus Drive, which is shown here at the green dashed line. They'll continue that through the track D, which again has that pedestrian access easement that will provide access to lot 37. Also, there's a proposed thoroughfare connector trail along Loop 363. So the applicant is providing a trail easement to accommodate this as well. And there's been no conflict identified with the mobility master plan. Water and sewer is available along Case Road and other phases of this development, and the applicant will be extending 8-inch water lines and 6-inch and 8-inch sewer lines, and fire hydrants will be provided as required by the fire code. The park fee for this phase totals $10,800. This is in the Temple ISD, and the plat was determined to be administratively complete on October the 21st. So we recommend approval of this final plat, and the developer requested exception to the thoroughfare plan. Again, this is scheduled for city council action on November 21st. So action by the P&Z today is basically to make a recommendation to the city council. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Cheryl. Commissioners, are there questions or comments in regards to this one? And I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve FY-24-48-PLT as presented by staff.
Second.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Walker and a second by Commissioner Smith to recommend approval of item 6 FY-24-48-PLT to City Council per staff recommendation. Tiffany, may we have a vote?
Commissioner Morales,
Aye.
Commissioner Walker,
Aye.
Commissioner Jarosik,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Prager. Aye. Vice Chair Smith,
Aye.
Chair Krause.
Aye.
The vote is unanimous and the motion carries.
Moving on to item 7 FY-25-1-SITE. Hold a public hearing to discuss and recommend action on a development site plan for a proposed restaurant on 0.379 acres described as being lots 7 and 8, block 10 of the Robertson Addition subdivision located in the Maximo Moreno survey. Abstract number 14, City of Temple, Bell County, Texas, addressed as 1120 South First Street. The case will be presented by Principal Planner Jason Degman.
All right, good evening, Chair and Commissioners. As you see, the dates for the council review are on the bottom of the screen. Mr. Pascal Miller from Solomon Signature Homes is online. If you have questions for him, he's representing the owners of Lot Huy Nguyen and Nhok Dang. So this is located on South First Street, corner of Avenue L and South First. You see the vicinity map. It's in the neighborhood along that South First Street corridor. And as you see on the aerial photo, it's an undeveloped site. There's some businesses to the north and nearby, as well as some homes to the west across the alley. We've got some photos that will show that for you. So as you can see, here's the undeveloped site. There is some sidewalk and landscaping along the First Street corridor. You can see the homes and the businesses across the street. There's a number of businesses in this commercial corridor, restaurants, auto service businesses, used car sales. They're across Avenue L. And then as you go down the side streets from that commercial corridor, quickly get into, residential neighborhood, which is why you see the homes on Avenue L on the bottom of the photo, and then the back of the homes across the alley. So the applicants are proposing a restaurant. We see a site plan here. The current zoning is a planned development general retail. It does require a site plan review. As Brian said, originally it was a vertical mixed use 3-story building. There were no specific conditions, but it did have a site plan that showed where that building footprint would be. This is different. So it does require the site plan review. So it's the new location for Lot Restaurant. It's a 3,200 square foot building. There's a patio with an outdoor seating area facing South First Street, as well as all the green landscaped area around the building, as well as some of the fringe of the parking area. GR allows sales of beer and wine for on-site consumption by right. So this would not require an additional process for a conditional use permit. let's walk around the site plan briefly. So starting from the top, there's an access road at the north corner, straight pull into the dumpster enclosure. They are showing a propane tank. Now, they're working through some of the other permit issues as they get their designs together. And they're pretty sure that Atmos has facilities in this area that they'll be able to connect, so the kitchen will have gas. If they cannot make it work through Atmos, they're going to show the propane tank so that the kitchen will have the fuel on site. If that's not needed, if Atmos can serve the business, then that'll just convert to a parking space. They are shown 18 parking spaces. One ADA spot is shown in blue. Based on the parking ratios, that would allow one space for every 3 seats is what the requirement is. So that would allow them to have up to 54 seats in the dining room. And during the review, there's one red dot here for a proposed fire hydrant location. That is based on guidance from the fire marshal. And this is located in Temple ISD. The public notifications, as you see, that's the surrounding is mostly general retail. The site plan does not require the mailed notice to adjacent property owners, but it does require the public hearing and the newspaper printed notice on October 24th. We did do a rudimentary traffic analysis, not a TIA, because I'm not a traffic engineer. But we can highlight what the current traffic volumes and the observed crash patterns up and down First Street. On the daily trips, a sit-down restaurant, which is what this qualifies as, could be expected to generate about 343 daily weekday trips. If it was a fast food with a drive-through or a coffee shop with a drive-through, it would be a much higher traffic volume. So this isn't expected to be the largest traffic generator on South First Street. The current volume is 11,000, and that's down there just south of here as you get closer to the VA. Major arterial, according to the comp plan, has a capacity of 20 to 40,000 daily trips, or there is capacity for added traffic on South First Street. And on the safety analysis, you do see the crash hotspots. Kind of no surprise, the major intersections at Avenue H and Avenue M are shown as hotspots. The analysis did show that there was 2 fatalities in the area. One of those was a pedestrian that failed to yield the right of way. The other one, I put in the staff report and suddenly I'm drawing a blank. So don't quote me what the second one was, but it is in your staff report, and that's the one that's up here closer to Avenue H. The vast majority of contributing factors were failure to yield right away or distracted driving. And staff recommends approval of the site plan at 1120 South First Street, subject to the following conditions: compliance with the site plan. Minor changes could be approved by the Director of Planning. Significant changes would come back to P&Z and ultimately to Council for their review. As I stated before, the applicant, Mr. Miller, is on the online platform. And that concludes my presentations. I'll take your questions.
Know what the square footage of the dining area is?
It is,
Did I miss it?
I want to say it was 40 by 50
1,000 square feet for the
1,000
dining
square
room.
thousand, and yeah.
That's correct. 40 by 50 is correct.
Thank you, sir.
If they need the propane, being that there's like it's a residential area, there's a lot of houses over there. Are there any regulations on like how close propane tanks can be from buildings, houses? and
Yes, that's
stuff?
it's 10 feet. It's either 10 or 12 feet. But in this case, we have I'll tell you real fast. It's 35 feet away from the building, which is well beyond what the requirement.
What about like the house behind it?
So there's a 20-foot easement in the alleyway, and so that's also with further away than what's required for the houses behind as well. It would be about a 30, well, considering they have a backyard in between it as well, it'd be probably 80 to 100 feet.
Have you gotten any new info from Atmos from the last time we talked about this, Mr. Miller?
I have not. I'm still awaiting their response. The kind of the person that runs that, they said that he's really busy and it's really hard to get a hold of. So I haven't heard back in a week already. So I'm just awaiting that. But I just wanted to put it in there just in case. At least it's on the radar in case we do need to have the propane. It'd be a 500-gallon propane tank for the kitchen area.
500 gallon.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? The case requires a public hearing. We will now open the public hearing. If you wish to speak and are attending in person, please come to the podium. If you are viewing the meeting online, please raise your hand. Limit comments to 3 minutes. We will have a timer on screen for your reference. Provide your full name and city of residence for the record.
Good evening. My name is Alan Lyle. I live here in Temple. I'm glad to see that they're going to get their own building, but I really hate to see losing another downtown business and having an empty building, another empty building downtown. But I have a question for the designers or whatever about the dumpster access and the propane access. Is that area there long or wide enough to allow the trucks to turn around? Because trying to back out onto First Street, as we've heard, First Street's a very, very busy street. Trying to back out onto First Street would be next to impossible and very, very dangerous. So, you have an answer for that?
Thank you.
So we have 35 feet that it has to turn. So there's quite a large radius. So they would have to come in, get the trash, and they would back up slightly. But the distance from basically the roadway itself is 30 feet. And so that would allow for him to turn down and go basically down this drive to get to West Avenue L. And that would allow them to exit out without having to back up into the busy street.
No one else? No one on virtual? We will now close the public hearing. I will entertain a motion.
I'll move that we accept FY 25-1-SITE as presented by staff.
Second.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Smith and a second by Commissioner Rhodes to recommend approval of item number 7, FY 25-1-SITE to City Council per staff recommendation. Tiffany, may we have a vote?
Commissioner Morales?
Aye.
Commissioner Walker?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Prager?
Aye.
Vice Chair Smith?
Aye.
Chair Krause?
Aye.
The vote is 6 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 abstain. The motion carries.
Is there any further business or comments? Vote. That was my comment. The meeting is closed at 5:55 p.m.